nice and simple. We're writing the equation of the line with a slope of blank and a y-intercept of blank. So if it gives me that my slope is 3, what letter is my slope in my equation here? What letter is slope? Slope is m. Okay. And if I have a y-intercept of 0, 4, well, what letter is my y-intercept? B, right? What letter? My y-intercept would be B. So is my B going to be 0 or 4? It's going to be 4. When you see an x value of 0, you know that your B value is right behind that 0. So with an m of 3 and a b of 4, my equation y equals mx plus b, I'm going to put it up on the top like that so I don't forget. And we're just going to take out the m, take out the b, plug in the 3 for the m, plug in the 4 for the b. Y is equal to 3x plus 4. Anybody get that right, number 1? Okay. Part B, same thing. My m is -1. What's my b for part B? 0. Again, my y value is 0 when my x value is 0. So I can write the equation y is equal to -1x plus 0. But how can I clean this up a little bit so it looks nicer? Take out the 1 and take out the 0. Y is equal to -x. Now, if you put y is equal to -1x, that's fine as well. What I don't want to see is plus 0. Okay? I don't want to see the plus 0. Alex, I gave you one of these, right? Okay, perfect. I'm just checking. And for part C, a slope of 1/2, that's my m. What's my b value here? -2. Right? It's the number behind my 0. So I could say y is equal to 1/2 x. Should I say plus minus 2? No, what should I just say instead? Just -2. Good. So double check number 1. If there's anything you need to change, make sure you change it. Because when you're using this study guide on the test tomorrow, you don't want to be modeling your work after incorrect work. That would be pointless. You want the correct work, which is why we're talking about it. Number 2, we're identifying m and b from the equations below. How do I know what number is my m and what number is my b? Where's my m going to be? Nair, where's it going to be? It's going to be in front of the x. Well, what's in front of the x here? -3. So is that my m or my b? That's my m. Which means my b must be the number on the end, 5. So for the second one, my m is 6, right?
No, it's 2.
But it's in the front.
No, it needs to be in front of that.
Oh, my m needs to be in front of the x. I see. So my m is 2. Then what's my b? 6. Okay, the b is by itself. Okay, it's behind the x. It's where we begin on a graph. It's by itself in the equation. These are all different ways that we can remember my b value and what it represents. Even if it's flipped around, don't get tricked. Okay? I put a little box around that one just so you know. Hey, I need to be on high alert for that because I know some people are going to get tricked on that tomorrow. Number 3 says you can eat 7 Takis per minute. Fill out the table and write the equation for this relationship. Okay, not a whole lot of info given, just 7 Takis per minute. So after 0 minutes, how many Takis can I eat? 0. It doesn't say you ate 10 Takis and then start eating 7 Takis per minute. All it says is 7 per minute. So after 1 minute, how many can you eat?
7.
What about 2 minutes? 3 minutes. We can continue this on, right? We know our multiples of 7. So if I'm going to write my equation, I need to know my m. I need to know my b. Well, my b is where x is 0. So what would my b value be here? 0. And my m is from 7 to 14 is plus 7. From 1 to 2 is plus 1. What's 7 over 1? 7. So I can write the equation y is equal to 7x. Do I want to write plus 0 on the end?
No.
No, we don't. It's unnecessary. Okay? How we feeling so far?
Good.
Haven't hit the confusing part yet? Hit the confusing part, but now it's making a little more sense?
Yeah.
Okay, haven't hit the confusing part yet. I think I know when we're going to hit it. It'll be on the back. I'll leave that there for a second. Okay, just make sure we're staying focused.
We are.
All right, number 4 for our graphs. It's been a while since we've done the graph stuff. Hopefully it's stuck with us, but if it hasn't, where can I look? Oh, on the test tomorrow. Maybe I have my study guide. I have the right answer. I don't know how I got it. What can I do? Well, I can consult with my table of contents. My table of contents has all our lessons. Well, if it gives me a graph and I need to write an equation, I should look at 3.14. I go to 3.14. Here it is. How can I write the equation from a graph? Oh, look, I've got a very simple step-by-step process to help me find my M, find my B, write my equation. Okay, so yes, this study guide is very helpful. Our notes are more helpful because they break it down step by step. If you just follow the steps, you'll get it. Okay? But a lot of us just, for some reason, don't use our notebook during the test when I allow you to. And you won't always have that opportunity. So for number 4, the first thing we need to do is figure out where do I cross the y-axis. We used highlighters in our notes. There's my y-axis. There's my line. X marks the spot. It means we're looking in the center. Where do those two lines cross? At 1. So that means 1 is my what? My B. Now, if I want to find my M, I've got to do rise over run from one point to the next. So if I start here at this point at 1, I see I've got another point all the way down here. It's kind of hard to see. It'll be bigger on the test tomorrow. Am I going to start on the left or the right? I'm going to start on the left. Okay, am I rising up or down?
Down.
I'm rising down. How many spaces down?
2.
2. How many spaces am I running to the right?
5.
So my slope's going to be what? 2 over 5?
No.
Negative 2. Why negative?
Because
Because we rose down. That's right. Great job, you two. I appreciate it. We rose down. Negative 2 over 5 is my slope. Am I done?
No.
No. I got to write the equation. Y is equal to what? Negative 2 over 5x plus 1. Negative 2 over 5x plus 1. My slope is a fraction. Sometimes we can just simplify that fraction and it's a number. Sometimes we can't. Is there anything I could simplify from 2 over 5? No, right? So we'll just leave it as 2 over 5. Should I turn it into a decimal? No. That's gross. Okay? For part B, where does my line cross the y-axis on number B? Letter B. Crosses at 1 again. I've got a point right there. I'm going to start on the left. Am I rising up here or down? Now I'm rising up. How many spaces up? 2 up. How many spaces to the right? 2. So what's my M? 2? 2 over 2, which is 1. So my M is 1, my B is 1. I can write the equation y is equal to 1x plus 1. Or x plus 1. Y is equal to x plus 1. I don't need that 1 in front of my x. I can put it if it helps me understand better. But I do not need it. I can leave it off and just write x. But don't forget to write the x itself. All right? And finally, C. Where do I cross the y-axis in C? Negative 2. So what's my B value? Negative 2. I've got a point down here. From my left point, I'm going to begin at the B. Am I rising up or down? Down 2 spaces. And right, how many spaces? 4. So negative 2 over 4 is my m. Is there any way I could simplify that? Yeah, what's 2 over 4? Negative 1 over 2. What's my equation going to look like? Y is equal to negative 1/2 minus 2, right? Negative 1/2 x minus 2. Do not forget about that x. That's going to be a very simple point taken off. You forget about that x, okay? Quick show thumbs. How are we feeling about the graphs? We feeling okay? Yeah? Good? In the back? In the front? Off to the side? That side of the room hopefully feels okay. I don't know. All right, moving on to number 5. Number 5. Write the equation for each line described below. So number 5 is a little bit different from number 1. Right? What's different about the point in number 5 when compared to the points in number 1? Can I just take 2 as my m and 3 as my b here? No. Why can't I just take 3 as my b? That's what I did up here. Because there's a 0 in front. If I don't have a 0 in front, this is not my b. So what can I do? Find it. Right? How can we find it? Plugging everything in, right? So 2, if that's 2 is my slope, what letter can I give the number 2? M. What can I give number 1? X. And what can I give 3? Y. So if y is equal to mx plus b, that's going to turn into 3 is equal to 2 times 1 plus b. So our little 4-piece puzzle, like we talked about, right? What is 2 times 1? 2. Now how can I get rid of that 2 to get b all by itself? Subtracting it. Minus. Good. Minus 2 on both sides. What's 3 minus 2? 1. Am I done? No? Okay, my b is 1. What's my m? 2. It's given to us right there. So what's my equation going to look like? Good. Y is equal to 2x plus 1. I feel like you guys did pretty good with this. Is that making sense, number 5?
Yes.
Okay. Part B, same idea. Y is equal to mx plus b turns into mxy turns into 6 equals 1/2 of 4 plus b. What's half of 4? 2. How can I get rid of that 2? Subtract it. What's 6 minus 2? 4. So my b is 4, my m is 1/2. What's my equation?
Y equals 1/2 x.
Good. I appreciate those of you helping out that are with me. Y is equal to 1/2 x plus 4 is what we end up with there. So we're going to solve for the b. Once we have the b, we'll plug it in. Numbers 1, we just plug it in. There's no need to do any solving or anything like that. Number 6. Any questions, sorry, on number 5? Okay. Moving on to number 6. Identify if the tables shown below are linear or not. Describe how you know. This one's not asking me to write an equation. It's asking me if it's linear or not. Well, what does linear mean? Straight line. On a table, how can we tell a table's linear?
Because if it goes,
It has the same constant change.
That's right. On a graph, yeah. But on a table, we need a constant change. Great job. So in my brain, I've hardwired myself to see a table and draw what? Arrows every time. Boom, 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 boom. So we're going to check. How do I get from 0 to 1? Plus 1. How do I get from 1 to 2? How do I get from 2 to 3? On the bottom, how do I get from 5 to 10? 10 to 15. 15 to 20. Okay. Is my change on the top constant? Yes. 1, 1, 1. Is my change on the bottom constant? Yes. 5, 5, 5. So yes, this is linear because we have a constant change in x and in y. Right? It doesn't have to be the same number on the top as it is on the bottom, but we do need to have the same number across the top and separately the same numbers across the bottom. So when we stumble upon a table like the second one, I'm going to draw my arrows because that's muscle memory. On the top, how do I get from 5 to 4? Minus 1. What about 4 to 3? 3 to 2? Minus 1. So far, so good. Let's go to the bottom. How do I get from 2 to 5?
Plus 3.
What about 5 to 7?
Plus 2.
Ooh. What about 7 to 10?
Plus 3.
Plus 3. Is my change on the top constant? Yes, it is. But is my change on the bottom constant? No. So my answer is no. This is not linear because blah, blah, blah. You can write that in. For part C, how do I get from 2 to 4 on the top? Plus 2. What about 4 to 6?
Plus 2.
Okay, what about 6 to 7?
Plus 1.
Is that constant?
No.
No. Because, why? Why is it not linear? Because what's not constant? The change in x is not constant. My change in y is fine. Plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So we got to be specific, right? No, because the change in y is not constant. No, because the change in x is not constant. We got to be specific, okay? How are we feeling on number 6? Is that okay? Okay. Number 7, the temperature of a swimming pool shown on the table below. Find M, find B, write the equation. Perfect. I got a spot I need to fill in. I see a table. What do I draw?
Arrow.
Arrows. Every time. How do I get from 0 to 1? Plus 1. What about 1 to 2? 2 to 3? Okay. So time is going by 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So we're adding an hour each time. For my temperature, how do I get from 83 to 81? Minus 2. 81 to 79? Minus 2. So I'm decreasing in temperature by 2 degrees. If I wanted to go the opposite way, I'm going to do the opposite thing. What's the opposite of minus 2? Plus 2. So what's 83 plus 2? 85. I see an x value of 0. That means my number below it represents my what? My b. So my b is 85. How can I find my m from a table? The arrows. What about the arrows? Y over x. What's my change in y? Minus 2. What's my change in x? What's negative 2 over 1? So I can write the equation y is equal to?
-2x plus 85.
Beautiful. Just like that. Right? My temperature is 2 degrees less than however many hours it's been from my initial 85 degrees. Right? I'm hearing like a lot of like under the breath whispering conversations and stuff. It may not be distracting to me, but there's someone near you that it's definitely distracting to. So let's please stop doing that and just focus on this. Okay? I don't like calling people out by name, so just you know who I'm talking to. A laser tag arena charges $6 to rent the equipment, plus $4 per game played. Sounds a lot like the bowling alley. Find M and B to write the equation. Okay. $6 to rent the equipment. Has anyone ever been to laser tag before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know you get the little thing, the vest or whatever, and then the little...
The blaster.
Yeah, okay. Do I need to rent the equipment every time I play? No, I just rent it once. And I'm paying $4 per game played. Okay. So, after 0 games played, how much have I spent? 6. Question? Okay, $6 for the equipment. So I spent $6 for the equipment. I spent $4 for the game. After 1 game, how much have I spent in total? 10. Again, I don't need to buy the $6 equipment again, so I'm going to add 4. How much is 2 games going to run me? $14. What about 3 games? $18. What about 4 games? $22. All right. What's my B? 6. What's my M? 4. Over 1, which is just 4. What word in the actual question stands out to you? Do you guys remember what word I told you to look for? Per. And you see $4 per game. 4 is immediately my M. I know that for a fact. When I see the word per, I'm talking about the M. Okay, so $4 per game. My M is 4. So to write the equation, y is equal to what?
4x plus 6.
Beautiful. $4 times the number of games plus the initial $6 for the equipment. How does that sound on the front? So far, so good? Okay. All right, let's take a look at the back. Is this the hard part right here? Yes. For some of us it is. Some of us maybe not, but most of us it is. This is why we have the warm-up today, talking about the same thing. Number 9 says, this graph shows the relationship between the number of months spent at the gym, that's my X, and the total cost of my membership, that's the Y, including my initial membership fee. Well, how much was the initial membership fee based on the graph? $50. Because we see at 0 months, I've spent $50. Okay? So my y-intercept is 50. That's the initial membership fee. Now let's take a closer look at this graph for a second, because I see that $50 is 2 boxes up. How many dollars would 1 box up be worth? 25. What about 3 boxes? 75. 100, 125, 150, 175. Following the pattern. Filling in the blanks like that. It's not something you have to do. I recommend you do it so you don't get lost. Now the slope is going to represent the cost per month at the gym. So what I'm looking for is this space right here. 1 month at the gym. I look up, 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 up. I hit the dot. I look over, over, over. What's my total cost after 1 month? $75. How much of that 75 was my initial fee? 50. So what's 75 minus 50? 25. $25 per month. Right? Because from point to point, I'm rising $25 up, and I'm running just 1 day over. We're not rising 1, running 2. Yes, that's the number of boxes. That's not what we're talking about in this problem. I'm rising $25. I'm running over 1 month. 25 over 1. That's my slope. So I can write the equation y is equal to, what's my equation?
Y equals 50.
Super close.
Y equals 25.
25x
Oh.
plus the initial value of 50. All right. So the total cost for being a gym member for 6 months. Again, 2 ways we could do this. We could look at the graph. Here's 6 months. I look up. I hit that dot. I look over. I spent $200. What's another way we could figure out the total cost? Replace the x with 6. Great job. Y is equal to 25 times 6 plus 50. What's 25 times 6? If you have 6 quarters, how much money is that?
6 quarters is $1.50.
$1.50, okay. Plus the $50 from the beginning gives me a grand total of what? 200. So whether we're looking at the graph or we're plugging in the number and solving, we're getting the same amount, $200. Okay, just stay with me, guys. Any questions I can answer about number 9? Okay. Number 10 is basically the same thing, just with a different context. Number 10 is talking about a road trip where you spent a little bit of time on Thursday night driving, and then you wake up on Friday and you start going at a steady pace. So we got to find that pace, figure out how many miles they traveled on Thursday for us to write the equation. So I'm going to understand my graph first. What does the x-axis here represent?
Hours.
Number of hours driven on Friday specifically. What does the y-axis represent?
Miles.
Number of miles traveled. So each little box on my y-axis of miles represents how many miles? 30. If 2 boxes is 60, one's going to be 30. 90. 150. 210. 270. 330. Everybody cool on how we're understanding the axis there? Anyway. My y-intercept is where this line crosses the y-axis. That's right there. Where does it cross the y-axis? 90. 90 miles. Okay, my slope. I'm rising up from 90 to 150. We're on number 10. From 90 to 150 is plus 60 over 1. Just gives me 60. So I can write the equation y is equal to 60x plus 90 miles per hour. So what's the total miles traveled after 5 hours of driving on Friday? Well, I don't have room on the graph because if I look at 5 and I go up, oops, I ran out of space. So now I have to plug it in. What'd you say, Ty? Okay. So now I have to plug it in. Y is equal to 60 times x plus 90. X being 5. What's 60 times 5? 300. Plus 90 is? 390 what? Miles. Off to the side, please write. Write my units. If you don't write miles and you just write 390, there's a point off for that. Any questions on number 10? Anybody get number 10 right on their own? 4 people, 5 people? Okay. 6 people, 7 people? You're in good shape for tomorrow. Okay, 11 and 12. Let's start with 11. $11 says AT&T charges a $60 one-time setup fee in addition to their monthly service rate of $25 per month. Select all equations that match the situation described. What does it mean when it says select all? Multiple answers. Should I only bubble in one of them? No. So, $60 one-time fee, $25 per month. Which of those numbers is my M? 25. What word comes after 25 that tells me that's my M? Per. So then what's my B? 60. So if M is 25, B is 60, what would this equation look like if I were just to write it? Good. Is there any problem that has that as an answer? Yeah, the second one. Well, none of the other ones say 25x plus 60, so is that my only answer? No. What's my other answer? Bottom right, you said right here? Right here? Why is that one right? Good, it's just flipped around. The 25 is still in front of the x. The b is still by itself. Both of those are right. Why is this one not right? There's a 60 and a 25. The 60 is not your m. Same thing there. And those ones are obviously wrong because there's no b value. Anybody get number 11 right? You got both of them? Good. 12 is the same thing. Tina's dog walking service charges a $5 pickup fee plus $3 per mile. What's my M? What's my B? What's my equation? Well, where's that option? Second one and the last one. Doesn't matter if my 3x goes first or if my 5 goes first. Like we saw in number 2, they can be backwards. That's fine. But my m is attached to the x. My b is by itself. That's what's important. Last but not least, to finish this off, we'll talk about this tree. Table shows the linear relationship between the height y in inches of a tree x months after it was planted. Fill in the table. You know what to do. I see a table. What am I going to do? Arrows. How do I get from 0 to 2? How do I get from 2 to 4? 4 to 6. Okay, now I'm missing some heights here, but I've got 2 right next to each other, so that's all I need. How can I get from 12 to 18? Plus 6. So if I continued this pattern, what would my next height be? 24. Bless you. If I went backwards, I would do minus 6, which gives me what? 6. 6, 12, 18, 24. You guys see that? So what is my b here? What do I begin? 6. And what's my m? 6?
3.
How'd you get 3? You're right. How did you get it? What did you do? 6 divided by 2. My change in y is 6. My change in x is 2. 6 over 2 gives me 3. So if it's growing 6 inches every 2 months, that's the same as 3 inches every 1 month. So what's my equation? Y is equal to?
3x plus 6.
How can I find the height after 12 months? What's one way I could find the height? Keep on going. I could extend my table down. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oop, 12 months is what I'm looking for. 6, 12, 18, 24. What's next?
30.
30. What's next?
36.
What's next? Okay, so after 12 months, how tall is my tree? 42 inches. Don't just write 42. You have to write inches. Okay, let's not use that word, please. Okay. What's another way I could find the height? Replace the x with 12 and solve. Y is equal to 3. .42 inches. All right. Any final questions on our study guide? No? Good.